In this video, I'm going to show you more than 10 ultra cheap citrus style fragrances you can wear in the hot weather, spring weather, or whatever type of weather you're going to be at. If you're new to fragrances and you're only used to your father showing you fragrances like Polo Blue or Issey Miyake or Acqua di Gio, the old school one, throw those thoughts out of your head. Maybe you were scared to pull it. He only let you pull the trigger twice on Sundays or something like that. Maybe they're so expensive that for you that you didn't want to waste them. These fragrances on this list will help you because they're all affordable, all mass appealing, and all very good smelling. My name is Uncle Chris to you. If that's for you, I will show you what's better than what your dad knows. Starts with Chrome Aqua today. Grapefruit, green apple, basil mint, and the scent of the ocean all mixed in one. By the way, I'd like to give away a free sample of this Chrome Aqua to the person who comments down below and shares this video. The person with the most likes on his comment will win this fragrance. Within 24 hours, I'll pick the winner. It's a little scent sprayer of Chrome Aqua. The next fragrance on the list is awesome for $25 to $30. It's called Boss Man Orange. Boss Man Orange has red apple, coriander in it. It also has some Szechuan pepper. Boss Man Orange came out in 2005. Back then, I had a little circle of friends that were all into fragrances, and they used to love Boss Man in Motion. It looked like a little baseball. It was also an orange citrus fragrance. This one actually, you would love the smell. It smells so effing good, especially like right around 5 o'clock. I wore it yesterday, and I got so much good reactions from people around this neighborhood. Actually, the fragrance, you want it to last so much longer because that's the kind of scent it just makes you want to smell more. Actually, on my hand, it did last 15 hours, like as a scent spray. It starts out this strong in projection, comes like this after about an hour, and stays around this much for about 3 or 4 hours, and then it doesn't go away. It's still on my hand. It is an eau de toilette concentration. Again, $25. You really can't beat it. I love that vanilla ending. And back then when I showed it to my friends, they didn't like it. Next fragrance is Club de Nuit Intense Man. Is it still worth it in 2021? I'm going to say yes. It opens up with a nice clean citrus almost that you can smell it light and fresh. Whereas this Are You Serious? It's a contender I found. This came out in 2019. Are You Serious opens up with a blast of thick organic pineapple, the much more rich pineapple. It's more decadent than this, and this one will the Club de Nuit will outlast it maybe, but this one is right up in there. If they were racing in a 10-mile race, he might be a minute behind him. That's about it. Another fragrance that smells very good, is it worth it, is called Mont Blanc Explorer. Now these fragrances I'm showing you are all similar scents to an expensive fragrance called Creed Aventus. What is Creed Aventus? Creed Aventus is a very mass appealing fragrance that gets compliments. It might even get you in trouble if you are married. People, wives say, do not let my husband out of the house wearing that fragrance because it gets so many compliments. This one smells like it, Mont Blanc Explorer. This one doesn't last as long as Club de Nuit, but one fragrance that does last as long as Club de Nuit and you don't have to wait for it to dry is called Silver Supremacy. This is neck and neck with this. It'd be a great battle if someone made a video about Club de Nuit Intense versus Silver Supremacy. I do believe that this Club de Nuit Intense might project a little bit harder than this, whereas this one might even last longer than this. This one is definitely more authentic smell of Creed Aventus than this. And another fragrance they also make by RMF is called Club de Nuit Sillage, which is another citrus floral fragrance, but it has sandalwood, and citruses are cool to wear. A $40 fragrance, and you can find this one again. It's an Afnan fragrance called Heaven. It's also got citrus and sandalwood, and these two are very similar to a very expensive fragrance called Creed Silver Mountain Water. $400 or $35 or $30. Which one would you rather spend? Other than that, this is more authentic of a smell. This is a Sillage, is so good. I just love the smell. It's that sandalwood, slight peppery, slight floral citrus all put together. And another one, if you want to smell like the ocean, try Bulgari Aquamarine. It smells like the Pacific Ocean. Looks like a cool bottle. It's a little bit dated, but it'll do you good. It's a citrus video, and this is the citrus fragrances that are ultra cheap. Now I'm going to show you more than 12 ultra cheap citrus fragrances you can wear, some of them as low as $15, designer brand names, lots of them with very good performance, And one thing that's for sure, the ladies love citrus fresh fragrances. This is called Aventus Artisan Blue. A big fat bottle like this was found for $30 to $35, 4.2 ounces. It's got basil, sage, lots of citrus, bergamot, and bitter orange in it. And when you smell it, you can smell a hint of wood, a sweet wood, but it's really coming from the pistachio note coming in at 5 hours longevity. It's not a bad fragrance. I've got a friend, his name is Fernandez. You would think he is Hispanic, right? He grew his hair real long. He's got black long hair and dark skin, as if he was the guy from Sopranos. You know, the Italian Sicilian guy in the Sopranos video? Anyway, this guy Fernandez is actually an Indian person who has a thick Indian accent, like from India, but he actually thinks he's Italian. So why am I going with this? Because I had to show him this fragrance here coming up next called Versace Eros Flame. And Fernandez, he always goes around going, Cazzo, I needed some good fragrance. And Fernandez, who has a Hispanic name, who thinks he's Italian, who has an Indian English accent, he loves this fragrance. It starts out with the lemon balm. It's got tangerine. It's got Italian bitter orange soda vibe going on to it. All that on top of vanilla musk ending. Versace Eros is always in a battle with this Eros right here, and I'm going to tell you how they're somewhat similar. This is a very complimented fragrance. It's a red bottle. You've got the Medusa on there. You've got black pepper both at the top and in the heart. And why do they do that? Because they do put some geranium and rose in it, so the pepper comes in on the top and in the heart to warm up the floral notes, to give it a little bit more masculinity. And then at the base, you got some confusion because you got vanilla, sandalwood, tonka, and patchouli, so you don't know where to go with that. There's some oak moss. The fragrance goes as you think it's going to be a fougere pedigree. It's kind of confusing with all the citruses in the top of the fragrance, and it's a summer type fragrance. But after it dries down, it kind of goes into this mode right here. It did last over 8 to 10 hours on my skin, and it did have very good projection. It's just about what time you would frame you would get the compliment at what range, you know, after it dries down. The thing right here, Blue Eros, gets more compliments, but this is a very well-made fragrance. Then you have this old school one called Clinique Happy, found for $25, $30. A very big time compliment getting fragrance that dudes used to wear while they went to Applebee's and stuff like that in the early 2000s and all that. You've got the scent of the ocean. It just smells good. It's easy and fresh to wear. It's that orange color and it's awesome. Then you have this fragrance called Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. It's a strong, huge scent bubble. It's a casual fragrance. It's a lovely fragrance for wearing out in the highest summer heat all day long. This is the more advanced formula. If you're familiar or your dad's familiar with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, this is the new one. It's called O Intense. This is the one you would want to buy right here. You see how dented that is? I'll drink all that off and spray it off in the next few weeks. And now I'd like to show you they have this. This is a price alert. They have this Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue in a 7-ounce bottle, 200 milliliter bottle. The O Intense version in a 200 milliliter bottle was found for like $80, so that's $40 per 100 mil. That's a great deal for that fragrance. All ages appropriate on Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It's probably one of the best fragrances on the list, actually. And then we're going to go with another fragrance. I'd like to mention that this fragrance right here, the list wouldn't be complete. It's quite a dumb reach. It's quite a relaxing scent, and it's not universally known. It's unlike many of the other summer fragrances, and the cold weather, this fragrance doesn't like it. It kills the fragrance immediately. What am I talking about? Right here. It's called Mont Blanc Star Walker. It's perfect in scorching hot weather when everything else becomes unwearable. Another fragrance, well, I got this in the hand, that's pretty good and it's cheap, and its citrus is Lalique White. It's very unique. Back to this, Mont Blanc Star Walker came out in 2005. Now Mont Blanc makes fabulous fragrances like the Legend Spirit, which is the white bottle that everyone, I really like it. I can't even find it. It has musk and cedar wood, a very light wood green fragrance. It's such a soft, relaxing fragrance you could almost wear it to bed. It's got a deep, creamy, spiced note in it, and it's amber, warm, nutmeg and spice, and I found this for 28 bucks. To be quite honest with you, it's best suited for spring. It gave me 3 to 6 hours of a scent silage, which means when you're walking down the street, the scent trail that comes out after you, it lasted for 3 to 6 hours. You could compare this to something a little bit more expensive called Versace Man Fresh, which has added lemon and mandarin and rosewood instead of bamboo. The Star Walker has bamboo in it. Has cedar, amber, and woody elements, but more of aquatic wood, whereas Star Walker is more of a woody, spicy. So they're kind of similar in certain ways, and the way they build that fragrance composition. The next is another blue fragrance called Givenchy Blue Label by Alberto Morillas. He's a famous fragrancer perfumer who made Acqua di Gio. You have grapefruit and bergamot, cardamom and artemisia, which means you have a citrus, fresh, green herbal fragrance with some vetiver and olibanium. It's a classic, versatile fragrance. It smells so really good. I just wish this one would last longer, but it's still found very, very affordable. Even on eBay, 20 bucks for 50 mil, $32 for these big bottles. Another fragrance that's really good, and it just has a price drop. It's called Hugo Boss Reversed. Have you ever heard of this? It came out in 2018. Back then, it was very hard to find. It opens up with grapefruit, bergamot, and a hint of rosemary. It dries down to a citrus vetiver. It's very minimalistic. It's a great scent for high heat as well. You know, the high heat days, when fragrances have a lot of notes, they do not work well in the high heat, but this one is minimalistic. That's why those fragrances that only have 3 or 4 ingredients, like those Azzaros that call Wild Mint that has 3 ingredients, they work great in the high heat. This is citrus, absolutely dominating, mass appealing fragrance for the spring warm weather or all year round, and longevity was above average on this, 6 hours at least, and the projection kind of sits closer to the skin, but what can you do? Just spray it extra if you want to get noticed. Spray it like 15 times, and if you're in a really high heat area where you're going to sweat or you're playing basketball or whatever it is that you do outside. The compliments on this will get you good. They'll be off the charts. This is a fragrance that smells expensive and fresh all at once. A cheap but good expensive fragrance. Hugo Boss Reversed. Safe to wear at work, safe to wear in the office, safe to wear in lots of occasions, and I love it when fragrances are versatile like that. Next fragrance I found for $15.95. It's called Kenneth Cole Blue. It's simply an 8-hour long-lasting citrus blue fragrance with a touch of florals that's very good for the price. You could keep this in your car when you're like going, maybe you forgot to shower, maybe you're just running up to the grocery store and you see someone you might get noticed. Spray this on, keep it in your car, $15. And of course, one of the most Hall of Fame citruses. That's pretty good. Back in the day, it was like the ultimate fragrance to get. It was called Issey Miyake. All the men who liked slutty women would wear this fragrance and go out to the clubs and discotheques and Applebee's and bars and saloons and all kinds of things that you would think of at nightlife. You would wear this, spraying it on your shirt, lasting 3 to 5 days. It's like the best fishing lure for a fisherman back in the early 2000s. You couldn't beat it, especially in the cool weather. L'Eau d'Issey is all about Yutsu lemon, which is a citrus, and it's got some florals in it and some peppery spices in it too. And if you were about 35, I would recommend you this. And what's the beautiful thing? These 4.2 ounce bottles are like $35, so you can't go wrong with it. It's a little bit dated, and the newer formulations of this don't last as long as I would like them to, but you could spray your shirt still and get a little bit more activity out of the fragrance. You're still going to get 4 to 6 hours anyway. It's still not bad, but back in the day, you're getting like, until you wash it off the next day again on the clothes, it's better. Now we flip the camera over to you, and we're going to ask you, are you familiar with any of these citrus fragrances? And if you could offer any of these viewers, especially the kid with his dad who won't let him spray his fragrance, what citrus affordable fragrance would you wear? Comment down below. Remember, we're giving away that scent sprayer, so the best comment wins the scent sprayer. Maybe I'll give away 2 of them. How does that sound? Peace and love. I'll see you on the next video.